Okay. Hey, folks, here we are again for another quick chat. This time we're with Travis. We're with Mr. UV Man. We're with the world traveler. You know, you could almost be blue and what color is KBA or KOENIG BAUER today? It's all changing, right? It's blue and
it's a bit of blue, gray, and black.
Okay. They are pretty cool, the machines. Anyways, we're here for a few minutes because I just wanted to catch up and discuss print UV with Chris. What's coming around the corner. I think we're down to 85% or 89% sold out. So if you're on the fence, folks, don't wait because you're going to get screwed. There will be no tickets for you. Okay, we'll jump in. So Chris, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Lovely to be here, Warren. Nice to see you, man.
Always nice to see you. I think if we go way back to the print UV, you've been there from the beginning.
Day one, session one. Yeah, the first one was 50 people in a room chatting.
Cool. So I was there for the second one. And there was, I think, 175 people in the room. Now I think there are 250 or 300. But I've been from the beginning of me promoting the show because I'm speaking there, just in case you didn't know, everybody, I'm speaking, come see me. But I've been saying that to me, the UV show, print UV is the greatest show on earth regarding UV.
For sure it is. Oh, without question. Yeah, I mean, the greatest show on earth, I think, was a bit of a stretch until you put the word UV in, then it makes sense. But yes, wow. Relative to UV, there's no other conference that I know about it that's specific to the application of UV printing.
So what do you like best about the show?
Well, I guess that's a very
not in
question.
Any order. We're not holding you in any you could do it alphabetical or reverse. It's all good.
I always say to Hans, it's interesting. Had we had the show ever started off in Columbus, Ohio, would we have such a following? Who knows? But clearly, it's obviously very nice to visit Vegas. Beautiful place. But for me, the show is, and I always say to people, I'm confident that anybody who goes to the show will come back with something that's of value for their print shop. Well, I'd even go as far as say I would guarantee it, because you know there's so many things that you get to learn when you're there from so many people that you'll come back to your shop and go, I spoke to him about that. Oh, I'm going to try that blanket. I'm going to try this ink, or I'm going to try this different lamp configuration. There's something that you'll come back with that'll benefit your print shop. So to me, when I hear that from people, that's like probably the most valuable thing. For customers. For a vendor point of view, I mean, it's fantastic because we've got a lot of customers there. There's not as many vendors as normal shows, so it's quite restricted. So from a vendor point of view, is having access to your customers, it's great. And then of course the networking. I think most people would have told you we're on the networking is probably the most important. Of course, the sessions are great, but the networking that you get and the conversations you get with people, and talking to other people who are in the same situation as you. There's people there who have never printed UV. There's people who have been printing UV all of their life. So, yeah. You know, I think the networking and the conversations that really is encouraged through the cocktail hours. To me,
I was going to say bar time, probably, but yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, cocktail hours, and of course that leads into bar time. And you know, we always know that networking is good. But this particular show, I don't know any other show like it that we get this chance to really network in that.
Well, I mean, I've said it before. I mean, when I bought my first 56-inch UV press from KBA, and I'm always going to call it KBA. I don't care what KOENIG BAUER say. But
call it what you want if you buy one, mate. You can call it what you want as long as you buy one.
As long as you pay the money, right? No, but I remember when I bought the machine, pretty impressive machine. Actually, I thought it was amazing. But went to the UV conference the first time after Hans called me to speak. I thought he was on UV, but I didn't know anything. But once I was there, you know, the people that I've met, I mean, Kurt KOENIG, I keep saying his name. If he's listening, hello. But at that show, I hired him to come back to my house, my plant for a month. And we pole vaulted a year and a half ahead. There's another in Montreal who bought a UV press. whatever name's not relevant. I tried to convince him to go. He came once and then said to me that there was no value to him. And I'm thinking, oh my God, where were you every day of the show?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you got to
in
get you've got to obviously put the time in when you're there. Go to the sessions, which I think are a good catalyst to start off a conversation, and then of course you can just break out into sessions and have those conversations. But you got to put the time in to get it out. Yeah, I mean, if obviously you go for the fruits of Vegas and don't get to go to any sessions or hang out networking, then you probably will go back with nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how everybody shows up in the morning, pretty much. For the most part, right? It's like I can't say I see that at the other print shows, but to know the people are I find the people are really helpful. People want to help you, right? I don't think it's about it's not about keeping secrets. I mean, if you're doing something proprietary and you develop something, of course, no one's going to tell you, but you don't even if they told you, you couldn't do it anyways if you tried. Your press isn't even configured the same way, right? Because when you get into the high-end heavy-duty UV, people are buying presses with certain configurations.
Yeah, and you're right. And obviously, the configuration changes from customer to customer, but the process, for the most part, is going to stay the same. So, and that's where I think most people will learn information that's benefit for them for the process. And that to me is where the most valuable thing that I think people will get from print UV is understanding the challenges and the benefits of printing, UV. Now, when we say UV, energy curable, really, because it could be LED UV, it could be traditional UV.
Yeah,
there's all different types, but come to show you'll learn more.
Oh, and by the way, there is so much to know with, right? Remember, we bought the press. I think it was the only one of its kind in the East Coast.
Yep.
All I got was 500,000 sheets of plastic, like 40 by 42 or something, and very little ink coverage on it. But, and what did I know then? I did a quote for the guy on top of my head. The press runs 13,000 sheets an hour, but not with plastic. I found out the hard way. And with not a lot of ink coverage on it, by the time we finished the job, it wasn't the hours I quoted, it was triple, but we were learning. And I remember my customer at the time, he said to me, "You're charging me $85,000 for the job, stock supplied." And I was like, he goes, "I want you to go and redo your price because you really could only run at 6,500 sheets an hour when you're cruising." And I said, "Oh my God, what a great customer." And when I went back to him with the price, I was now up to $135,000. And then he said, "Now deduct $50,000 for the material you ruined." So I actually got the price that I quoted him, but he wanted me to know what I had spent learning. So just on that alone, if you're going to invest the $3, $4, $5 million plus in UV, my recommendation to everybody is you go out and hire the right person if you've never done it in your place before, right?
Yeah,
but
and be proactive and learn a bit more about it, so you're not learning on the fly, and give yourself every opportunity to be successful with UV, because UV will definitely differentiate you from the crowd and give you the ability to do things that other people aren't doing, for sure. And of course, a lot of it will depend on the configuration of the press.
For
but
sure.
I believe, and I still believe UV to be growing. If we look at press configurations, UV specifically in North America is absolutely still growing and still a very, very strong trend.
Well, I think that UV is great in what it gives you, and the touch and the feel and the whatnot, the smell, everything is great. I remember when the Aqueous started. And then everyone was going, "Oh, you put on a little water base, you could flip the sheet, you can go right into finishing," which was not true, because depending on the color, whatever. But with the UV, LED or whatnot, it's coming off dry. You are flipping it, and you are going right away.
Absolutely,
right? But so I have this book here. And I always have this book because Sappy's like my Bible. Ever since I got the first UV press, and they had Sappy number 3. It's just the whole book is UV and textures and feeling and colors and Jesus. So anybody out there, if you're not doing UV yet, you should, because you'll be in trouble soon. Because how many presses are you selling now? I'm just curious, conventional versus UV.
Yeah, and it'll vary every year, but I can tell you, 90% of the presses we sell every year are UV prepped. Of those presses that are prepped, I would say 60% of them are UV equipped. Now, the people that aren't necessarily getting UV are obviously printing food, which is, direct contact, so it doesn't really benefit them to be UV. But, we have a strong percentage of presses every year that have some sort of energy curing on. Now, what type of energy curing? Is it LED UV or is it traditional UV? And those are all discussions. LED is clearly ready, and we have many customers using LED.
And cleaner. And.
But I think the question is, so LED is ready, but is LED, do you need LED? Are you going to get the benefit every day from LED? We still sell a lot of traditional UV presses because they have their need, and that's what they potentially already have. They may not be a direct impact to switch to LED. Now, if you're printing on IML, for example, it's a no-brainer. You've got to go LED because it's going to give you an impact every single day. If you're printing folding carton, LED, it may not give you an impact straight away, but there might be some other benefits. So it's a discussion.
And it depends also what you're printing.
It does. That's the key.
Right.
But LED is ready.
Do some other things.
Got to start configuring the press.
And are you able to do exactly the same finishes with LED and conventional? Like all the the reticulation and all of that?
Well, from an ink standpoint, yes, but not from a coating standpoint. And that's where
I mean from a coating standpoint.
From a coating standpoint, no. And that's where we will probably do a combination of drying capabilities, depending on the configuration of the press, that will have LED UV together with traditional UV towards the end of the press. So it's not just, it depends on the configuration of the press. Well, you should speak to your local sales manager.
I don't have one anymore. I have nowhere to put a press. But if I did, I would. Anyways, you know what? The UV thing is great. It's been great from the beginning, and really the show is great and the people are great. Yeah.
Again, I've obviously been going to Print UV from day one. Not only do I enjoy the show, for me, it's professionally, it's a fantastic show to meet people, to talk to people. I love promoting UV, and for us, from a company standpoint, it's been a tremendously valuable show, and I hear that from our customers as well. So very happy to be a part of it, very happy that it's back on, and looking forward to seeing a lot of familiar faces and having some fun.
I feel exactly the same way, and I think after 2 years, it's well needed.
Yeah.
So yeah. It'll be a good first print conference for me to go to before I start to hit all the other ones coming up.
Yeah, so I would imagine. There's a few more, and obviously, Drupal was a big one last year that we were all waiting for and missed. So yeah, always love to be face to face to people as opposed to over these video things, which have served the purpose.
It's okay. It's okay, but
I'm ready.
Right, I'm ready too. All right. Well, on that note, thank you for taking the time to sit and chat. I mean, we can go on and on and on. We always do.
We do, mate, and it's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure to be here. Good to see your face, mate, and I look forward to shaking your hand in person.
Oh, I'll be shaking hands and having a few drinks as we catch up with everybody else. So thank you again. Everybody who's made it this far and still listening to us, go sign up for Print UV if you haven't already. Check out the Print Whisper. That's me over here. See how I can help you in any way. And we will see you at Print UV. I'll make a few videos from the Print UV so you get to see what's going on anyways. That's it. So thank you. Thanks, Chris. And we'll catch everybody after.
My pleasure.